Hey, what's up everybody? So we're continuing right along with the 72 Fury. I figured it's already in the shop, it's in the way. I want to do a few things to it so I could get it in and out of here a little bit easier. If you guys have been watching the videos, you would know that we've been shorting across the starter relay in an effort to start it because it won't start with the key. And that's because the neutral safety switch it's had the wires yanked completely out of it. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about in case anybody missed it. These wires go to this plug right here, and this tells the car that it's in park and then allows you to turn the key and start it. Just a safety feature. And without this hooked up, you're either gonna have to like hook some of these together and trick it into thinking that it's in park, or just fix it. And I think we're gonna make an attempt to fix it, because if you look, that unplugs right off of there. Maybe we can somehow reattach the wires to it. That'd be nice. So I've got it all cleaned up. I'm kind of looking at it, and I thought, you know, man, I'd probably get in here and maybe dig these prongs out and maybe dig the wires out and fix it. But look at the way it's made. It's so weird. Like, here's the prongs, right? They run right through the middle, right? They come in through here, but then the wire like goes in here, drops down, and then comes out. Like, why doesn't it, how come it can't just come straight out? Like, if it came straight out, it'd be one thing, but the way it snakes down in here, it's like, how am I supposed to get that out and fix it and then put it back in, right? But I got to thinking, you know, I got this motor and transmission sitting out here in the back. Maybe it would have a plug, and check it out. It sure does. Look at that. The same exact plug, that same weird little design. And look, it's got the whole wiring harness and everything. It's identical to our plug. See that? So really, I mean, all I'd have to do is snip it off and take it. But I was noticing it actually has the entire harness, the whole thing, all the way to the end. So I think I'm just going to take the whole thing into the shop. Let's get it off of here. It's clipped on with a clip here. There we go. So yeah, check it out, man. It's got the exact same plug, everything, exactly what we need. I'm hoping that the wires are all the same color. Let's go underneath there and clean all the grease and the nastiness off of that wiring harness that's underneath there and see if the wires are the same. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be so easy to splice that right in. I've got my new switch wired in. Check it out. The wire in the middle matches perfectly, a brown with a yellow stripe. And I actually took the old plug apart and found out that indeed it does have a brown wire with a yellow stripe in the middle of the plug. So that part stayed the same. These other two wires were different colors, but I don't think those even matter which way they go, one side or the other. I'm not really sure on that. We'll find out in just a minute. So I've just temporarily wired it up. You can see here, I want to test it out. We don't have a battery or anything in it right now, so we're going to hook a battery up, test it out, see if this does in fact work. If it does, and then I'll come back in and of course wire it in correctly and heat shrink and all that good stuff. So you guys remember this issue here? We got like a bushing or something completely missing. Yeah, it's pretty sloppy. I found something though, just digging around in some junk. I think this is going to work awesome. Check this out. I test fit this a minute ago. It slips right over that little linkage and goes right through the hole. Look at that. Fits in there perfectly. So yeah, that took a lot of the sloppiness out of it. I think that'll get us by for now until we can get a new one ordered or something. Let's get the battery hooked up and test this out. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, this ain't cool at all. Alright, let me turn the key on. Alright, we got juice. Should be in park. Maybe I should get in position so I can put my foot on the brake. We are on the jack stands. Yeah, I know, man. This looks stupid, but that seat just wasn't working out. We're just going to have to roll like this for now. Alright, I got my foot on the brake. We're supposedly in park. I think that's going to need some more adjustment later. Let's see if we crank. There we go. Cranks with the key, y'all. Hell yeah. So we got it. Let's make sure it actually starts. I'm pretty sure that those other two wires, the two prongs that were on the outside of that plug, remember there was three, I'm pretty sure the two on the outside, it doesn't really matter if it goes one way or the other, as long as you got the middle one right. Could be wrong on that. There may not even be enough gas to start it with it on an incline like this, the front end jacked up. All right, cool, we're live. And we're in park, awesome. Okay, so there's going to be one more thing that I want to check on that switch, and that is, I know that one of those wires, I believe, is for the backup lights, and so I want to make sure that that is hooked up correctly. I don't know if having the wires switched will affect any of that or not. I just want to make sure that I do, in fact, have backup lights, and only one way to know is that put it in reverse. And we do, in fact, have backup lights, both of them, in fact. Got the seats in the way, but yeah, those are the reverse lights. Both sides are working, awesome. Okay, so now we could get under there, wrap those, wrap the wires with the heat shrink and all of that, and route them the way we want so that they're out of harm's way. We don't want them against any kind of heat sources, of course, stuff like that. So awesome, man. We are on a roll so far. I'm going to get past that, and then we're going to jump on this roof, man. I should probably rephrase that. We are definitely not going to be jumping on that roof. That thing is junk, man. It wouldn't handle it at all. Well, okay, so here we go. I've already got 2 of the wires done, heat shrinked, we're good to go. Some of y'all's gonna give me crap for not soldering them together. I know, but anyway, I've had people ask me like, hey, how do you tie your wires together? And this is how I tie them, just like that there. That way, it's all like one continuous size, you know. Not, you ain't got like a big ball of wires or anything like that. And then your heat shrink will just slip right over the top of it. Let me put you down for a second. You know, something like this here, just kind of, be kind of careful with it. Just slip it right over the top of your splice. You know, get your splice about to the middle of the heat shrink, and then hit it with the heat gun. So that wiring harness actually comes up here on the firewall and comes across here over the brake booster and down into there. I went ahead and kind of took some of the slack out of that wiring harness, shortened it just a bit. In my opinion, that harness was way too long. They had it running back here draped over the speedometer cable, which actually caused it to wear a bare spot in the harness itself, so that wasn't good. It was so long that's the reason it got caught on something to begin with and yanked it right out of the plug. You know, all the wires got yanked right out of the plug. And so I think having it just ran up there just like that, shortened up, I think that's going to help it out a lot, get it out of harm's way. We're going to have exhaust pipes running through here later, and we don't want, you know, the harness to be anywhere near a heat source. So I think being shorter is going to help us out a lot on that. So hey, with that out of the way, we can move on to getting this vinyl roof off. I know a lot of you guys are here for that, so let's just get started on it. All right, here goes nothing. Ugh, I knew it wasn't going to be good. We'll cut it back to the seam for now and see where we're at with that. I probably should have rolled that window up first. Oh well. Oh, half the roof is still on the bottom of this vinyl. Oh, that is so bad, man. I don't know. What do y'all think? You think we're in over our heads yet? It's pretty bad. I'm not sure if we could do the bed liner thing on this. This might be too far gone. I don't know, y'all. That's pretty bad. Look at this. Y'all think we could save it, salvage it? I mean, at least get any use out of it? I don't know, man. This is a lot worse than I had anticipated. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be good, but God, I didn't know it was going to be that bad. I don't know what else to do, but just keep going with it. We'll get it torn down here, and oh man, that looks bad too. This is not looking good so far, y'all. This seems to be coming out from under the moldings as far as like around here and then through here. Everything else I've had to kind of trim, but this is coming right out. Look at that. So we're getting all of it. There we go. Here's the back side of it. It's all still together. It's not trying to come apart. This is where two pieces come together. And it looks okay. Right here is where the grand, let me see. The grand coupe, it goes right here. That was the little holes for the trim holes to go through. And look how bad they've rusted out. Not good. Yeah, all this stuff around the window seems to be just kind of coming right out. Got some kind of a caulking in there, maybe some kind of a seam seal, I don't really know. It actually held up very well. It's still attached. Whatever that is, I don't know if that's factory or did somebody put that in there, but whatever it is, it worked and it stayed good all this time. Luckily, the vinyl didn't tuck in behind the chrome, so that was cool, and it came right out. And all of this looks really good. It's solid. Nothing wrong with it, so we got some good news. At least we got some structural integrity left behind. This part seems to be okay. Up here around the front windshield, I don't see any rust holes in it at all. This is the A-pillar here, and it looks fine. It even still has some paint on it a little bit. Can you see the paint? That's cool. So yeah, anyway, all of this is actually looking okay. It is solid, not even so much as a pinhole, all the way around the front windshield, all the way around the sides here, and I would say around the back, but there is a spot like right here, you can see where it's kind of ate up around the edge, but otherwise, all around the edges of all the glass and everything is just fine. There is no rust, so I don't know, man. Whether or not I can get in here and do anything with this stuff and have it last at all, I don't know. I mean, it is all still together. It's not coming apart. We'd have to grind off a lot of that rust and do, you know, just some body work, I guess. Oh, this is kind of... I really wish that wasn't a thing. Right around through here. Yeah, that kind of sucks that we got that going on, but all through here is good. Some of this stuff just comes right up out of here, and some of it you'll have to kind of trim off. Maybe dig it out or something. Yeah, see, some of it will come right up out of there, but not all of it. Some of it is kind of fighting me a little bit. But it's getting there. Putting these old razor blades through hell. About to get all of this off of here. This is about the end of it here. I think I got one more A-pillar. Oh man, probably should have popped that emblem off first, huh? Oh no. That was risky, y'all. Well, I think we just found the worst of it. Yeah, that's pretty bad, dude. I don't low. See, the other side, this area was okay. And then this was messed up. You see, that's the holes for that emblem. And this side looks fine. The other side was terrible. And then this was okay on the other side. And this side is terrible. So we got the opposite thing going on here. That's going to take some work, man. I don't know. How do you even get to it? Because that's like an inner structure right there. So, yeah, how do you get to the back side, right? Well, I guess we'll have to figure something out. Again, all of this looks okay around the windows. I haven't taken this A-pillar. I haven't uncovered it yet, so let's see if this side's okay. We'll start off by trying to get underneath it with my, give me a little pick here. Kind of get underneath it to get started. Something like that. And I'll take my razor blade. I probably should break a new piece off. There we go. So take my razor blade, start trimming. These razor blades are pretty cool. They're the kinds you just break it off and get down to a new spot. They're retractable, you know? Pretty nice. I'm sure most of you guys have used those before. It's working pretty good on this. Just kind of using my pick to pick that out from underneath that molding. It just tucking in underneath there, and it really doesn't even act like it's glued in. I don't know. Let me see if I get this off of here, and maybe we can start kind of pulling it up out of there, because when I put my pick in there, it picks it right up out of there. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's just picking it right out of there. Then I can grab it and just kind of pull it out. Seems to be working okay. Not hurting the trim or anything. And there's actually enough room to get right in underneath it. Gets a little tight through here, it looks like. Wonder if I could take a trim tool and kind of put it underneath there and just kind of work that trim up just slightly, just enough to pull that out from under it. So got me a little scraper tool in here. I use this to scrape gaskets and things like that. It's really thick, so it works well for getting into areas like this and doing just a little bit of prying. We're not getting carried away at all. Don't worry, we're not damaging the trim. I'm just relieving a little bit of the pressure, and this vinyl is coming right out from underneath it. I'll kind of do a little combination of this and this. Every once in a while it gets hung up on something, probably a trim clip or something. And I got to do a little bit of this, but it comes out. Like I said, we're not hurting anything, and luckily we don't have any rust through in this area, so I can actually get away with kind of getting in here and just working with it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's working. I can even take, this thing is unique. I mean, I got it at Sears years ago, and I could get in here just like this and kind of help dig that out of there if I need to. It works okay. Just kind of running it through here like this. Like I said, we're not getting carried away, so I'm not messing anything up, so no worries. I'm not bending any of the clips. I'm just barely just lifting up on it so I can dig this out of here, because on this side, it's tucked in here and it's got the caulking in it. And then on this side, it's tucked in under the trim. So kind of fighting it from both sides here, but it is coming out. You see there, once we break the seal on that caulking, it works pretty good at coming loose. Okay, and then I'll come back and just kind of wedge this in here just slightly. And I'm just kind of getting this out from underneath here. See, I'm about to get it out of there. See where it's starting to come out. I wonder if I can grab it with these. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I'll come down here and do the same thing. Just kind of, there we go. Now we're getting it going. And that's what I'm looking for there. Just a little bit. And if I have to, there's a couple screws down at the bottom of this. So if we get down to the bottom and it gets just a little too tight, which is kind of what it seems like it's doing, we could probably just go in there and take them screws out and go from there. Because yeah, it does seem to get, like right through here you got all this room, and then you get down here and it starts to kind of tighten up on us. And like I said, we could take the screws out of the bottom if need be. Maybe that'll give us a little extra. Maybe we should just go ahead and just try that. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Got a little screw here and a little screw here, and I'm willing to bet that if we take those out, that's going to give us exactly what we need. So let's just do that. No sense in fighting with it, right? I think this is going to give us exactly what we need. So we'll go ahead and get these on out of here. There we go. Boy, that gave us a lot right there. Did you see that? Look at all that. That's nice right there. So maybe having all that out of the way, we could kind of get in here and do what we need to do. Where's my prying tool here? Get in here, kind of work at this just a bit. No, that's cool. That came right off the end there. Look at all this down inside of here. That is a lot of dirt. Just trapped. Look at all that. Oh my God, that's a ton of it. I bet we need to take this thing off and clean out from underneath it, because look, that goes all the way across. I heard somebody comment that they lost a Fury, I believe it was a Fury, to rust underneath the cowling here. And man, after seeing that, I can see why. That's all that's going to do is soak up moisture like a sponge and stay wet for long periods of time. It's not going to let the water drain through like it's supposed to. So that's not cool, man. We need to get that all cleaned out of there. We'll blow it out with the air compressor. And if there's any rust, we'll treat it before it gets any worse. Man, I would really like for all that just to pop right up from underneath there. I believe we got it all. I don't see any more in there. Well, there's a little bit at the bottom there. I wonder if we could work this in there like that. Where'd my pick go? Here we go. Get in there and dig the rest of that out of there. That's what we're needing. There we go. I just see a piece fall out. Okay. Alright, so I have made the decision to go ahead and pull this trim off back here on this back window. Nearest I could tell, you just want to get just right under it. Kind of push against the clip once you find one. Come through here and you find a clip, you want to kind of push against it. Generally come right up out of there is what the other ones were doing. I know what you're thinking, like, man, you are messing up, Weird Beard. I know. But man, I don't know any other way to get the rest of this out from underneath here. I mean, look at that. It tucks way underneath there. I want all of it out. And if there's any rust around the back windshield, I want to treat it. So this has got to go. It's not really that hard. I mean, see, I've already got all of this off, and the clips are just junk in there anyway. So, I mean, a lot of them are just literally falling apart, barely even messing with it, and they come right apart. So, I don't know, man. I didn't know any other way to go about it. So they're coming out. I think the top one's the worst. I mean, none of the clips are any good at all. They just fall right out of there, so. You gotta be really careful. I don't want to damage it, and I don't want to mess up my glass either. Maybe I'll come back from this end again. I never pulled it. Maybe come down from this end again. I've never pulled the trim off of one of these, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are like freaking out right now, but I don't know, man. I don't know any other way to get it off. I mean, this seems to be working really well. We're not hurting anything, so. And none of these clips are any good. They're terrible. Looks like we're down to one clip. These things are in really bad shape, like I said, so doesn't seem like we're really hurting anything. I don't know I mean, we gotta get this off here. Look at all the stuff hiding underneath it. There's no way we could have left that on there, right? I mean, look at this. This is bad. So let me get all this off. Let's see if we have anything left after it's off. Like, that looks like that's an area that probably caught a lot of moisture that just sat there for long periods of time because it's just got so much dirt and leaves and you name it. Come on, man. Be real careful here. I don't want to mess this trim up. There we go. When I hear it ripping, that's when I want to kind of stop and pry the trim up just a little bit. I don't want to rip it. I want to actually get it all out from underneath it. I don't want anything left. Coming out pretty good. There we go. Final piece, right? Here we go. We're just about done. There we go. That's it. That's all of it. So as you can see, the trim, it fared out pretty well. Nothing's damaged, nothing's bent. We should have no problem being able to reuse it. Of course, we will have to get all new clips. These things are garbage. Let's see about getting all this stuff vacuumed up off of here and see exactly what we're working with. I mean, I don't know if we have enough to work with, y'all, to be honest with you. Let's get it vacuumed off and we get a better look at it. So there it is. That's what we're working with. It's pretty rough out in the middle, as you can see, but all around the edges, which to me is the most important part, it seems to be good all around the windshield, everything. I don't know, man. What do you think? Prime candidate for a big sunroof, a big giant sunroof? I don't know, something like out of a newer car. Because with this all being good out here, all we'd have to do is cut away this middle section here and do something like that. But I don't know, man. I'd probably rather just replace the roof altogether. Stuff like this here, I could probably repair. I'm glad this turned out to be okay. I was worried about underneath the back glass. All of this area here, I was expecting to be complete garbage, and it is solid. So that is really good news. Just got me a brush kind of going through the channel where the glass and the sheet metal kind of meet together. There's a little channel there. I'm just kind of cleaning it all out, getting all that dirt out of there. And I was kind of noticing, man, this glass, the way it's mounted, kind of lends itself to a flush mounted glass design, like a new car, where it doesn't even have the trim that goes around the outside. It just has the glass sitting in the hole. I always like that look, and that's how most new cars are. They don't have the rubber seal that goes all the way around them and all that. And that's how this one is. It's just like flush mounted glass. It literally just glues right into the hole like a newer style car. And I think that looks pretty good, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see on this side where I've already cleaned it all up, you know, and that's what it looked like a second ago. And then I went through and I just cleaned all the way around the glass, and you can see that, you know, the channel in here, it's not excessive. It looks just like a newer car would be. A lot of these cars, when you pull the trim off, there'll be like a big wide gap between here, and the trim kind of hides that. And on this car, it doesn't have that gap, and it's like this all the way around, even at the top. So I was thinking that maybe, since all the clips are garbage anyway and it's all rusty and everything, we'll just go ahead and take the trim off, leave it off, clean the channel out just like I did all down here, right? And then when we do the spray on bed liner, if that's the route we go, which that's looking like that's what we're gonna do, stuff like this we'll have to figure out. But anyway, so far the plan is spray on bed liner for the roof. Obviously we got to kill the rust and all of that first. It's temporary, all right? I can't stress that enough. It's temporary until we can source a roof and work that into our budget. For now, we're going to go cheap, because who knows what a roof's going to cost by the time we have it shipped and all of that. And there's always a chance we might just have to buy a whole nother parts cart for that roof. Who knows? But anyway, for now we're doing it on the cheap, and I think we could probably do that for around 300 bucks, something like that. So yeah, anyway, just kind of tossing around some ideas while we figure out our game plan on exactly how this is going to go and what direction we're going to go in and stuff like that. You know, it's going to go in stages, I can promise you that. Yeah, see, these things are terrible, these clips. It's going to go in stages. You know, we'll start out stage one, just like right now, just doing, you know, working with what we have for the most part, keeping it dirt cheap. And as time goes by, after we get it running good, stopping good, all of that kind of stuff, make sure we don't have any overheating issues, things like that, we can move on to stage two, which would be more about making modifications and doing cool guy stuff. You know what I mean? We could do the 4-barrel carburetor, the manifold, maybe throw a cam in it, I don't know, cool stereo, interior, all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? But for now, we're keeping it dirt cheap because we don't know exactly how involved. Hey, that's the first clip that came off that didn't break into pieces, I'll be damned. But yeah, we don't know how this is gonna go. You know, you get to cruising around in it and find out the transmission's junk or something else. So we don't want to get too crazy up front with it. We want to just get it going at this stage, and then, like I said, we will move on and do all the cool stuff later. Here's another one of those rusty clips. There we go. Blow all of this out of here. See, I just take my pick and I go through and I just kind of dig out any of the crud or any of the the windshield sealant, the urethane or whatever that oozed out when they glued the windshield in. Clean the groove out is all we're doing. And then once that's done, I take my my steel wool, okay, got this here, and I just come through here and I just clean up the area like so. I'm not putting it on the trim or anything. This is a bit aggressive for the trim. Just kind of clean up the area here. We don't want to use this on the glass either. It's a bit aggressive for the glass, so we want this. This is 0, 0, 0, 0. I can't stress that enough. 4 zeros. Anytime you're using steel wool on your glass. Otherwise, you will sand your glass. You'll leave sanding scratches in it. It'll be terrible. You won't like it. So anyway, just be cautious of stuff like that. Once I get it a little cleaned up, I'll take and blow my steel wool away. I'll have to go chase that down. But you see, it's cleaning up nice. I mean, everything's looking good. Just kind of working my way around the front windshield just like I did the back one. Already pulled that piece off over there. I've been kind of digging around in that channel trying to clean it up a little bit, make it look a little nicer. And now I'm going to pull this bottom piece off. That's the last screw from that. Let's see what underneath the windshield looks like. Down at the bottom, another spot that I was kind of worried about. You can see right there, that's where a lot of it gets trapped. Right there, it just builds up underneath that trim, you know, and it acts like a sponge. Of course, dirt soaks up water, right? And then when the rest of the water runs away and it all dries up, this spot stays wet for a long time. So this is what you end up with. But as you can see, it all looks good. I wish this windshield wiper wasn't in my way. I could show you a little better, but yeah, I mean, look at that. That looks pretty nice, man. I don't see any rust whatsoever under that molding, so that's good news. Trim's not too hard to get off of there. That's probably because all the clips are rusted to pieces, but yeah, those clips aren't putting up too much of a fight at all. So this is actually coming off rather easy without damaging any of the trim at all. I didn't see any other way to do this, you know, the right way without taking the trim off. Otherwise, I don't think we would have gotten all of that vinyl out of there because it wraps around underneath the trim like you see over here, you know. And I mean, look at all the stuff, you know, the dirt and everything that gets trapped underneath that stuff. I mean, that's crazy, right? So obviously we need to get all of that out of there. If we're gonna start this car over, give it kind of a new lease on life, I mean, we need to get rid of all the crud, is the way I look at it. That's like the #1 goal at first on this, is just to decrud it, seriously. So this is what it'll look like after kind of digging in that channel for a little while, kind of digging out the urethane. What they do is they put that on there and they squish that glass in there. Some of it will ooze out into the channel, which is not a big deal if you're running trim, but we're taking the trim off. I want to preserve the trim. The trim's in very good condition, and I just want to put it to the side for now. And since we are going to do the bed liner spray, That stuff, it gets so thick that I don't want it bridging onto my trim, so I'd rather just get it on out of here and forget about it for now. We'll save it for our new roof. When we put the new roof on, the trim will go back on and everything will go back to factory. But like I said, we're just doing this for now, and that bed liner spray is super thick. I just don't see any way to leave the trim on and have the bed liner spray. I don't think it'll work. So yeah, I just get in there with my little tool I got from Sears. I just get in there and I scrape all that out of there. I don't go under the glass or anything. We don't want to create a leak. We're only cutting off the part that oozed out into the channel. We're just cleaning the channel up. We'll get it nice and neat, looking like the other side over there, and then we'll move on to the next step. This is all cleaning up really well. No problem at all. Look at that. Getting that channel nice and clean, just like we're wanting. Remember all that dirt that was trapped down in this corner? Man, the other corner on the other side was just as bad. We can clean all of that out now. I'll get my air hose and I will blow all of that out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put that bottom molding, I'm going to put it back on, but I'm going to leave these off. Just cleaning around the window with that 0, 0, 0, 0, 4 zeros now. Don't forget. That's our steel wool that we're using on the glass. And then we'll use the red Scotch-Brite on the sheet metal going around it just to kind of clean it up, knock the dirt loose, all that. And then we'll come through and hit it up with the air hose, just kind of blow everything away. I'm using that same piece of steel wool that I used on the glass to clean this piece of trim that's going to go at the bottom of the windshield. And man, it's working really nice. It's cleaning up nice. It's got some marks on it from the windshield wipers kind of rubbed on it. And it's got some built up dirt and all that. And this is cleaning it right off. This is nice. There's just a handful of screws that held this on. They kind of going down at the bottom. It's pretty easy to put on. I'll get those all put back in and then we'll move on to something else. I'll go ahead and get all the screws started all the way across here, and then I'll go through and tighten them up once they're all in. Y'all remember this piece here, this one on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall it. I don't want to lose it. So we'll just go ahead and put it on there and let it ride, and then that way we won't have to look for it later, because I know, man, those little stuff like that is what comes up missing later. So we'll go ahead and put that on in there. We'll get some lacquer thinner or something and rub that off. That's just where I labeled it. We'll go ahead and do the same thing on this side, and I don't know if you noticed, but I'll put tape on stuff. And then what I do is I put the screw in there and run a piece of tape over it. And that way the screw stays right where it's supposed to be. Look at there. We got the screws, everything. That way we don't lose nothing. I mean, I guess you could put it in something if you want. And, you know, like a coffee can or Tupperware, whatever. But I don't know, man. I think keeping it with the part is the best way. Works for me anyway. I'm going to go ahead and slide this on here just like we did the other side. We'll get the screws put in it, and we won't have to worry about losing this. That'll be nice, huh? Something like that. There we go. Man, do I have a big old mess to clean up. Look at all that. That's the old vinyl there. Got stuff everywhere, right? So it's looking like this is the worst of it right here. And I don't know, maybe we can get in there and just patch that or something. We'll see. But obviously we got to do something with it. Got a few other areas obviously going to have to do something with. I got a few ideas. You guys feel free to chime in down in the old comment section how you might would go about fixing this. Heard a lot of guys talk about fiberglass, lots of different things. Keep in mind, it's only temporary, all right? Don't fill the comment section talking about, oh my God, you're hacking it. What? It's temporary, all right? We will weld a roof on this thing at some point, but not right now. Can't say that enough. Gonna have to get in here and pull the headliner out. That'll be next. And man, I don't want to mess with that headliner. It is in such good shape, and I'm just afraid I'm gonna mess it all up messing with it. But it has to come out. There's no way around it. We can't fix this without pulling the headliner out. I mean, look at this. I could push, that's the headliner. I'm touching the headliner right there. If you were to look inside there, you'd see the headliner falling down there, pushing through. You know, you see my finger coming through. So anyway, we got to pull the headliner out. And what I was thinking is once it's out, maybe we can get in there. Obviously, we got to neutralize the rust first. That's the first thing. Kill the rust, stop it in its tracks. Then we could treat it and things like that. And what I was thinking is maybe on the inside from underneath, once all that's done, maybe put some big sound deadening pads or something like that. Put it on the roof. That'll give it a little extra rigidity, and it'll plug the holes up to where we could be able to come out here. And once we've neutralized the rust and stopped it in its tracks out here as well on the other side, obviously, we would be able to actually start coating this with a bedliner material. All we really got to do is come through and just kind of knock the scaly stuff off, right? And then the rest of it's just a matter of spraying on the material, the chemicals that will neutralize this and keep it from rusting any further. And then obviously after that, we can start the bedliner process. In case you've never heard of this, this is actually a thing. People do this. They replace their vinyl roofs with spray-on bedliner. Usually when they're in a situation like I am where the roof is just shot and they're just looking for a cheap alternative. Obviously, we could not take this down and have a vinyl top put over this, not in a million years. So we're just trying to figure out a way to enjoy the car without having to go on like some 3-month freaking restoration project, trying to weld on a new roof and all of that. I ain't messing with that right now. I want to focus my attention in other areas like interior, suspension, getting the engine dialed in, some exhaust, things like that. I'm not blowing the bank right out of the bat, right off the bat. Blow the bank on the roof. We can't do it. So we're going to go cheap on the roof at first so that we could do all the other things. And then we're going to circle back to the roof. I promise I won't go without putting a roof on this car at some point. For right now, I thought maybe we'd put our new switch to the test. Let's fire it up with the key this time. Awesome. Move it out, clean up our mess, and then we'll bring it back in. How do y'all like my new seat? Check this out. That's the bottom part of a boat seat, and then that's going to get us by for now. You guys see what I mean? How we got, oh my God, about fell back. Y'all see what I mean about how we got to spend our money in other areas. So we need interior. Let's try firing it up with the key this time. That's awesome, dude. Man, it's like a whole nother car now just for that. Well, so much for that plan. She is out of gas. We've driven it like 100 feet and we're already out of gas, so whatever. Well, change of plans. I guess we will clean this up in the morning and I will go get some gas in the can. It's funny, I have the same story with this one over here. It never leaves the property and yet it's always out of gas. Every time I want to move this one here, I got to put gas in it. It never fails. It don't matter how much I put in it either. I can put a whole gallon, 2 gallons, 5 gallons, 10 gallons. It seems like it's just always out of gas. I don't know why. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making it, and I'm having a lot of fun working on this. It's really cool when you sort little issues out here and there. It just kind of motivates you to keep moving on. And I've been spending some late nights out here messing with this thing. I don't mind it one bit. It's good times. It's a nice break from what I'm normally doing, like flip cars. You know, you're doing a lot of, you know, kind of later model cars, and they're just not nearly as fun to work on as these older ones. So it is nice to pull off of that stuff and mess with this kind of stuff. So we'll keep moving on with it, don't you worry. And I'll get you another video out real quick. We're going to move right along with this one. This one is not going to be one of those long, lengthy build series like this one over here. This one, it went through all common. We took it down to the bare metal if you missed it and built it back up to where it is right now. That is so much work. Lots of rust repair, lots of it. I mean, it was just endless block sanding. You know, y'all know the drill. Most of you seen it. But anyway, this one's not going to be like that at all. This one's going to be a little more wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We're going to get her done, and we're going to drive it. That's what I want to do. I want to drive this car. I think I've mentioned that before. So we're going to get her done. Look what I got for the rear, y'all. We're going to be bringing her down. It's jacked way up too high in the back. I can't stand it. We're going to crank the torsion bars up just a little bit. I like it low. I think it looks cool. It looks aggressive, but it is a little bit too low. It's hitting the bump stops, y'all, so it's not going to function good. So it will go up in the front just a little bit. Those blocks are going to bring the rear end down a little bit, which it needs desperately. It's sitting up too high in the rear. I can't stand it. So those lower end blocks are going to go in probably on the next video, because I can't stand looking at it like this no more. I want to get it down to where a little more where it's going to be once I start driving it. So yeah, don't miss that. We'll probably do that next time. You guys be sure to check out my Instagram, link in the description. Facebook, Weirdbeard on Facebook. I'll give you a notification when I put a video out. That way we don't have to rely on YouTube just in case they don't do it. So you guys stay tuned. This is going to be a fun little build. Lots of trips to the salvage yards, parts stores, you name it, man. You know how that is when you do these old cars on a budget. We will be spending some time down at the old salvage yard trying to find some interior, some seats, something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So anyway, don't miss it. We will see you guys later.